Are you considering quitting right now, or throwing in the towel, or waving the white flag of surrender? I'm making this video today because through the end of 2023 and a lot of 2024, and even maybe the beginning of this year, we can say, I took some massive L's. I made another video itemizing those things and talking more about it, right? Especially that video about me losing $1 million in a year and all that stuff, right? But I really wanted to make this from the heart for people who are on the fence. Maybe you've lost hope in starting something. Maybe you're an entrepreneur right now, you're in sales, you're in real estate, or you're doing something and you're just considering quitting. I want you to watch this video, take notes, and pay very close attention, because by the end of this video, I think you'll have the ability to make a rational decision whether to continue on your path or, right, check in and go to the next thing. Because that's the first point here, is make sure that this is a rational decision, whatever it is that you do in life, right? We're taught a lot of times to go with our emotions and, trust your gut and your instinct. And there's some validity to that. However, how many people will say, oh, my intuition is sharp and all that, and they've made some terrible decisions? Most of them, in fact, have been terrible. Because a lot of times we can't even decipher the difference there. But number one, make sure that we're making a rational decision and really take a look at it. Because when like a business person comes to me and says, well, I'm thinking of quitting, one of the first questions that I ask them is this. I say, did you give it everything that you got? Honestly. Did you give it everything that you had? I've never had anybody say yes to that. And I've gone back and forth with people a lot in that moment when they're considering quitting or giving up. It's never coming from, at least in my experience, right, from the person who worked like I did when I started my business, like 12, 14-hour days nonstop, right? Months and months and months of grinding. Some people will give a week or two, maybe a month, but that's a small sample size. You can't do a couple weeks or a month or 2 months and be like, oh, wow, I should have made it by now. It's like, no, dude. You want something great, you're going to have to give something even greater to get it. But answer that question, and answer it right now in the comment section if you're considering giving up. Have you really given? And if any of you say yes to that, I want you to itemize a little bit and describe how you've given it everything and for how long, because that's important too. So we have it being a rational decision, and number two, have you given it your all? But let me tell you this. When I was in my deepest, darkest moments as an entrepreneur, right? And this is personal and business, by the way. This is both, not just one. Took some massive L's, had my back against the wall. I suffered financially for a while, and it sucked. I felt like the walls were closing in on me from every direction. I felt like over a decade of the work that I did, in that moment, right? Me being emotional and irrational for a little bit. Oh man, all that hard work taken away from me, blah, 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 right? A little bit of playing the victim. But what snapped me out of it was this. I said, look, I could just say, hey, I had a good run and go do something else, maybe conform, get a job, whatever. Now, I knew I would never do that, right? But what did I do? I reconnected, because I do this all the time. I reconnected with the original vision that I had for me, for Team BC, my life, my legacy, and where I wanted to go in the future. And I really reconnected with that. Like a lot of times when we start an entrepreneurial journey and you guys get into personal development and self-help, you'll go through a lot of these exercises to create your vision board, right? Journal, like all the basic stuff that you do, right? Putting pen to paper and really understanding what introspection is, connecting with really what you want, and making sure that you are able to create a connection and reveal what your real desires are to move forward, because then that becomes the guiding force and light to your journey, right? And a lot of people up until that point, if they've never done this type of stuff, very few people know how to do that or were taught how to do that. But what happens is, as we start working and grinding, especially if you have a taste or a little glimpse of success, you get away from a lot of this basic stuff. And even on my higher level communities and coaching members, like my lifetime members and all that, we still always come back to this foundational stuff pretty often, because even those guys that are really making a lot of money and firing on all cylinders tend to fall off. And when they fall off, it's because they've abandoned some of these fundamentals. So when I mentioned reconnecting with that vision and what I wanted and everything, it was reconnecting with that. Why did I start this thing? And we've developed and grown from those original goals, but what were the goals before, things started kind of falling apart and life happened? Where was I? What was the vision? What were we doing? Let me reconnect with that. And immediately the fire got lit again. The excitement came back. It took me out of that temporary negative moment, bad emotions, and it showed me the light. And when I reconnected with that, I said, man, and this is again an example from my experience that I'm giving to you guys. I said, that is worth it to me. The fight to attain that is worth it to me. I am not going to throw in the towel. Because everything that I've, again, in that moment, reconnected with and what I want, where I'm going, who I aspire to be, the things that I want to do, that shit is coming from the depths of my soul. And I want it so bad, I will stop at nothing to get that. That's how crystal clear this vision is for me. So there's a check for you. This could be point number 3. Before you embarked on this journey that you're considering quitting right now, whatever it is, were you that clear? Were you that connected? Were you that fired up? Because regardless of what it is that you're attacking or doing right now, if what's on the other side of that doesn't tickle your soul, doesn't put a smile on your face, doesn't get you up, like that vacation that you cross off on your calendar that you can't sleep the night before, if you're not moving like that, if you're not connected like that, if you're not feeling that, and you won't feel it every day, but you get my point, then it's going to be very easy for you to quit, because when you're met with resistance and obstacles, it's easy to throw in the towel. That drive and desire, that burning desire, right, is really what allows you to make it through these moments. Because the other part, and this can be point number 4, is regardless of how painful it feels and how bad it feels, and believe me, it was bad for me there in a moment, especially mentally, like the mental prison that you create for yourself. Understand this, write this down, put it in the comment section, put it in your notebook. Everything is temporary. Your life is temporary. The day is temporary. Your mood is temporary. Your goals and their achievement is temporary. The relationships that you're in, eventually, even if you take them to the grave, they'll end. Everything is temporary. You'll never be as lovely as you are right now. Achilles said that in Troy, referring to the beauty of a woman. You'll never be as lovely as you are right now. And he's making a reference into how the gods envy us because we're mortal and we'll pass away one day. We look at them saying we want to be immortal. They look at us saying we want to be mortal. Interesting quote and perspective, right? But understand that everything is temporary. Remember the high of the highs. When you achieve that goal, well, you'll also experience the lows of the lows. That's the cycle and range of emotions of life. And what we try to do is we try to combat it, because that's this next point now, is we try to fight it. When you feel good, you want to hold on to it like it's a precious little baby. I want to feel like this forever. It's not possible. Remember, everything is temporary. So when we go to feeling bad, because you embrace it on this side, feeling good, you're going to have that exact mechanism on the opposite side. To the degree that you want to hold on to the good, you're going to swing hard the other way, right? Laws of polarity. This is why you need to stay in the middle, even keel, as much as possible. All of this is temporary, but what do? Oh, I don't want to feel bad. And what does that do? That's resistance. You're attempting to resist the natural state and flow of emotion. By resisting it, you intensify it, you focus on it more, and you make it worse. This is why I tell people, if you're feeling angry right now or upset or whatever, sit in it, feel it, sit in it right now, 100%. Don't resist it, don't fight it. Just sit with it and watch how things start to change. Is it pleasant? No, but you make it worse. You make it control your life because you fight it and you resist it. What you embrace will erase. What you resist will persist. Right? I started saying that years ago. Right? I haven't said it for a while on YouTube. I don't know if I read it in a book. I don't remember. I'd give credit if I did. Maybe I made it up. I have no idea. But it's a simple rhyme. What you embrace will erase. What you resist will persist. Remember that. And a lot of us fight it. I was fighting it for a moment too. As advanced as I am with all this mental and emotional technology that I've studied over the years and mastered and done pretty well with, I still have my dark moments too, like anybody else. I'm human. That's why whenever people look at me and think that I haven't been where they're at, or I have never felt what they felt, I say, I'm human just like you. I make that point specifically to them because I know for a lot of people, they'll look at me or somebody they look up to or admire as if we're special. We're not special. We've been through what you've been through. We just fought through it and made it to the other side, and we lasted longer than everybody else because we had our vision and our focus down the road, not in the current moment. We knew that every moment was temporary. Every day was temporary. The L's were temporary. Even the W's are temporary. We got to keep going, and every day is a new day. So when you start looking at these things, like if you're making a rational decision and you don't want to do it, this thing that you're doing in reference to this video, you're not fired up about it. It has nothing to do with your personal legacy or what you want. It's not connected in any way, shape, or form with your vision or what it is that you want to achieve, and you really see no reason to do it. Maybe you just did it off a whim. Maybe somebody recommended it to you. Cool. In that case, pack it up and leave. And for some of you, that might be exiting sales and real estate, because many of you who follow me are in the sales and real estate world. And that's okay if that's the conclusion that you came to. But if you identify with anything I've said in the beginning of this video, like, yeah, I remember when I got like my real estate license and I wanted to do this and this vision, then it's still there. You just have to reconnect with it and then understand, because that's there, no, you must not throw in the towel. You must continue and fight and go through and get help and take the necessary steps to help you achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve. Because the worst thing you want to do, and we've heard these stories and seen them many, many times, is a person who later says, I should have stuck with it. I should have gone after what I wanted. Yeah, times got tough, but I should have opened a business instead of being the 9-to-5er forever, because I didn't want to be the 9-to-5er. I wanted to own a business, but I was scared to do it. I was afraid to do this. I didn't want to. You always hear that from people later on. And how bad would it be for you to be older and live with regret? To me, that carries the most emotional weight on people is regret. And I swore to myself a long time ago, I would never live with regret. If I wanted something, I'd go after it. And if I didn't get it, at least I would go down giving it my all, to say, hey, it wasn't meant to be. I gave it my everything. So you really have to reconnect with yourself and identify, is there really no meaning behind this and fire and desire or connection to what I'm doing? If so, throw it out. But if there is something there and you've identified whatever this thing is to you as being important and a part of your legacy, your vision, and what you want, and there's a real burning desire there, you're just being weighed down by life and what's going on, it's okay. Then you face it head on and you keep going. And you do whatever it takes to keep going. Because the only person that you can rely on is you. The only person who's going to believe in you at the level that you need to succeed is you. If those things are missing, you'll never make it. This is your life. You have one life. Make the most of it. Instead of just, giving up. Because remember, we're creatures of habit. If you throw in the towel now when you really don't want to, and only you know the answer to that, then it's going to be easier the next time to throw in the towel. And then it just becomes a habit of you giving up on everything. And then you'll be the person who lives with regret. Woe is me. Then you'll be the normal pessimist and all the stuff that we see. And you don't want to be that. But you're going to have to fight. Everything that you really want in life, you're going to have to fight for. Nothing comes easy. But that's what also makes the taste of victory so sweet. So I hope this offered some perspective for you in regards to quitting, giving up, or whatever it is. But it's really important because I have this chat with people all the time. I've had my moments as well. I'm about to really break out back onto the scene. I'm having upticks in a lot of areas right now, but I've had to put my head down and grind and do a lot for the last year and a half, basically, maybe even a little bit more, to get to this moment where I'm finally starting to see the tides of change and momentum and big surge. And those of you who have been following closer, you know. But I had to make it through that dark period, and so will you. But if what you want on the other side of it is worth it to you, you'll take the necessary steps. All right. Anything I can do to help you guys, let me know. Check out all this stuff in the description if you need anything from me, and we'll see you on the next video. Peace.